you like. It's time to be on them. It's the noise, baby. Oh, it's the noise, baby. Oh, it's the noise, baby. Oh, it's the noise, baby.
All right, welcome once again to the beatzillapdx. I'm sorry, what are we saying? It's no longer beatzillapdx official show. It is the independent Black voice, and hopefully everybody as well this Wednesday evening. We are live, so as you're coming in, hit that like button, share this out on your social media if you would, and if you have not already subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so now by hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell, hit the word all. That way you'll be notified anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded or premieres. And, since we are live, we're going to see who we have in the chat this evening. We did not do a weekly wrap up. Of course, I was and still am getting the new stuff switched over for this channel. The independent Black voice. And I'm the host, Beatzilla PDX official. So tonight we're going to talk about Jasmine Crockett. And I'm sure by now you guys have seen what she's had to say about slaves and whatnot, which is ridiculous. There ain't nobody trying to pick no cotton. She's comparing free slave labor to, and of course, hundreds of years of harsh chattel slavery to immigrants coming here who, number one, aren't coming here to pick any kind of fruit or anything like that. That's what they got machines for. Now, also, what's very interesting about that, how did that light get so back bright again? Okay. Like just for instance, today, I ran into just randomly this woman who was looking for, I guess she was headed towards a job, checking on a job, and couldn't help but notice that she stopped me and couldn't speak any English. She literally stopped me and proceeded to point to her phone and asked me, is this where I need to be? Oh, yes, this is the building right here. You're at where you needed to be. And when I walked off, I'm thinking like, you can't even read our numbers here. You can't verbally tell me where you're trying to go. But yet, you're coming down here for employment. Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that fascinating? Just couldn't help but notice that. So, okay. Wow. You must have just got here. And immediately somebody has worked. And it's like, I'm just going through the process in my mind of what I witnessed. Okay, well, clearly there's somebody sending you somewhere and saying, hey, go here or go there for work when you can't speak English at all. You can't read the street signs. You can't, you can, and somebody's taught you how to use navigation. So that means that people are coming from like a centralized location. That'd be safe to say, right? It's very interesting. I'm just can't help but notice. But before we get into things, I just want to go ahead and shout out who we have in the chat. And we have very early in the chat a message from I hope I pronounced this right. Forgive me if I mess this up. Nuora Mameen, Queen Noor. I probably butchered that. I apologize. So how long do we have to give attention to this wench? Unfortunately, we have to do a little more because this is who they have ran out. And when they run people out like this, one thing we have to do is you fight who's in front of you. You don't get a chance to fight who you want. And when they're pushing somebody out here to make sure you have a black face on a white agenda, we always have to be active at the forefront of combating that. Because again, always remember that these tactics, when you see a black face representing an agenda, that is an agenda that is established to make sure we stay in the social pecking order. And that's exactly what we don't want. So that is one of the reasons why, and I've been tired of talking about her. Her voice really irritates me. Because it's fake. And, now it's just not just fake, but I just don't really care for the sound of her voice. And the things that she keeps repeating and saying sound very, very, very tetherish. She's too old. At 40 years old, she would have to, like, she talks as a person that she never knew, like, her grandparents or great grandparents. Like, obviously her family lineage does not come from here. Like, for her to be 40, there should have been somebody there that would have been maybe elderly when she was young. So she should have been around some patterns of behavior and certain etiquette that you learn in our community. I mean, because I know folks that are in the maybe late 30s, so young, a little younger, that still have grown up with the same understanding and etiquette, because like their grandparents were the teenage generation under my grandparents. So there's some understanding understood. And every time you hear this one talk, she doesn't reflect that. Because as a black woman, I would have to say, in the back of your mind, especially for us black men, what would your grandma say? Now, what your grandma got to say about that? You know what I mean? So, yeah, it just gives off vibes that you don't have that great grandparent that is so closely removed from slavery. They might be the first one born free. She doesn't have them ties. I grew up like that. So my great grandfather was alive when I was born. He passed, of course, when I was just a baby, but just to put it in perspective, you know what I mean? I think he passed in 1979. So 3 or 4. Priscilla Taylor in the building. Jersey City is here. Black First. Always good to see you in the house. Thank you for being here. And we have Judah Israel, Black First. Always good to see you, my good sister. Thank you for being here and all that you do. Thank you for being a moderator and a member. And I think my longest standing member. So always, and moderator for that matter. So thank you so much for everything you do. Rhonda Smith in the house. Thank you for being here. Good evening. And Priscilla Taylor said, hold on, put my glasses on there. They said they're using her as a distraction so people will not talk about the money they stole. Let's let that one marinate for a minute. Because I'm sure with many of you would have to agree with Sister Priscilla Taylor right here. Let's just keep it a buck. I heard she is a fake. Oh, she is a fake. She is very much a fake. Because, you could hear her tone switching when she does, and people would be like, oh, that ain't nothing new. Yeah, but see, here's a problem. We know what they say, code switching. We understand. Okay. But that performative behavior, that has nothing to do with code switching. That's a tone change. And so you're playing a role. Like, I haven't got a chance to get to that video, but has anybody seen the Stephen A? They caught, what was that, Frontline Cat? He caught one of them ESPN producers slipping, and he was telling how they have Stephen A. Smith as he plays the angry black man. That's literally a role he fills there. They want angry, antagonistic black man. Well, who cares in the building? Greetings, my good sister. Thank you for being here as well. Yes, indeed. And so, if you guys haven't seen it, maybe we will go through that video at some time here near in the future, because it's always relevant and pertinent, because it speaks to the fact of how they set these people up, and they set them up to fulfill a role. And for her is the sassy, up and coming young mammy. So she'll be the sassy auntie, because clearly she won't be the sassy mommy. And for some reason, she has really not understood politics of America. That's another thing, that she believes that somehow on the power of her being a woman. Now, if she's probably listening to non-melanated women, I'm certain, and she's doing that by mistake. Because something that we all will know about Americans, you're gonna have to be married if you want that White House. And you think that, why do you think Trump is sitting up here saying, yeah, they got Jasmine Crockett, and that's the best they can do? That's who they're running. That's the new star. Well, they're in trouble. That's why everybody else is encouraging you to keep having her speak. There's something there, folks. And anybody in that Democratic, I don't know what's that. Is she here for time wasting? Because you can't be serious. But here's the problem. You pivot to, well, you're already kind of doing it, so you're already kind of shutting the door on clean-cut white boy representing the Democrats. You're really closing the door on that. And unfortunately for the Democrats, and I'll just say unfortunately, if this is what you want to do to win in 2028, you have gotten so far off the ball looking at Trump to run for a second or a third term. And in your mind said, oh, well, J.D. Vance will run for president and Trump will be his vice president. Even so, even if he did that, who would the Democrats put on a ticket to go against J.D. Vance? But here's the point. Trump ain't running for no third term, and he's most definitely not going to be vice president. So to even float that notion out there and for Democrats to entertain it, this lets me know. And I was always kind of wondering when this particular regime was going to take power over there. Seems like things have switched. Works out great for us. Because if you've noticed, the Democrats are in disarray. Also, the Republicans are in disarray. The conservative squad, remember I told you that keep an eye on the black conservatives. Didn't I tell you? Keep an eye on them. Why? What are we seeing now? We got Nick Fuentes and Jason Whitlock going back and forth. We have Candace Owens criticizing Trump. It's very interesting. All of these people with these funny backgrounds, they're not so loud right now. And for those who are, their voices are being squelched. Priscilla Taylor said, what about Cory Booker? They're in bad shape. 25 hours of babblings. 25 hours of Cory Booker. I just kept seeing it in my feed. I'm like, I can't take too much of this guy. Like, and then just a bunch of nothing. And now, oh man, wow, look at what he did. What did he do? What did he do? He gave you no policy, no plan. All they're doing is really just going to tell you how bad this other side is. But it's the beginning of 4 years. Already the overhyping and jumping up and down about the stock market is crashing and this and this ain't 1920 nothing, man. Calm down. It's the worst dip that it's ever been since 2020. 4 years ago. Really? I mean, the way these people have moved into everything scare you-ville. Me and my wife just started watching the Paradise, that show Paradise. It's on Hulu. They just played the first episode on TV Sunday. But it just makes me think, like, these people could literally scare 92% of black women and 77% of black men. They could literally get scared into trapping themselves into a mountain because Democrat leadership told them a disaster was coming. And we're kind of at that position where you see, it's like, what's wrong with these folks? They're losing their minds. But as for us, what did you guys have for dinner? I'm sure they got to be looking at like, why the hell aren't black people all stressed out? I'm like, what? About what? Oh, I won't be able to retire and this and that. Have you been to Walmart lately? There's a whole bunch of greeters over there that couldn't do the same. And they're a lot ahead of you. Oh man, they're going to start Social Security and so. What are you talking about? You care now? I've been hearing about Social Security being a problem since I was a kid. I guess if you guys watch even like old black show reruns, you'll still be hearing the same thing because ain't nothing changed for us. You talking 40 years ago? Well, still nothing's changed. Still right here. All we did was raise the poverty line with inflation. But hey, Black America being so, so many of you say we're in poverty. We're going to spend all of our time talking about the middle class, which does not answer anything about the working class, because working class probably still might be under the poverty line. So while you're still going to work to pay bills and struggling, all that, we're not going to talk about you. We're going to talk about the middle class. And so everybody who is in the middle class, who is just a sick or illness or a tragedy away from being poor, we're going to focus on undergirding you with something that is absolutely unattainable unless you're above middle class or you're upper middle class. See, so if I'm going to give you $25,000 toward, and then let me correct this because they often misconstrue this. I'm going to give you a $25,000 tax credit on your down payment. Meaning you have to first have $25,000. And then you won't see that their 25 until next year. And you're talking about the IRS. You really think you're going to see all that 25? Meanwhile, right here in my city, I'm sure in plenty of yours, we have La Hacienda. And these programs are specifically for illegals, undocumented immigrants too. Illegal or undocumented, because that is two different things. And so you have to be a immigrant, non-citizen, to qualify for a $36,000 loan. Now, they tell us that we were going to give you $25,000. No. Here at Hacienda, they are giving $36 in a loan. That's upfront money. That's, you don't have anything about money nor collateral, but they got you on a $36,000 loan. We try to get something like that just at the bank. They're gonna want a hell of a lot of collateral. But these folks are walking in with nothing. 36. Bam, qualify. And then you get linked up with all other kind of services as well. And then you'll have people like Jasmine Crockett advocate for those goodies and benefits for those illegals using our history. It's pretty disgusting. And one more reason why I really, truly believe this woman is an immigrant. So without further ado, let's play what she had to say.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's right.
Wow. We not. That wig is a beast. That wig is a beast, y'all. Lord. Yeah, let me just take a look at something real quick. Let's go at this again.
Go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
Idiot Negroes. Right. No, we not. Wrong. Because we are not immigrants. And see, again, only a tether talks like that. Only a tether talks like that. it's very obvious to me anyway. You know, I'm like, yeah. So tonight we're gonna do something a little different. I want to ask, what y'all think. Here at the Independent Black Voice, we might need to hear your voice because, like I said, we are a megaphone of the people. And I can say what I need to say, but maybe you have something to say as well. And so I believe that this woman is not, well, of course, she's not representing our interests, and they are putting her there as a tool. This is what I believe. I believe she's being used as a tool to misrepresent the Black agenda. Also, she's by way misrepresenting intelligent Black thought and women, and then also trying to sneak in verbiage of the Black grassroots into her talking points as well, and then turn right around, sure that she keeps everything with the full steam of the Joe Biden Harris flood the zone agenda, which obviously is now a DNC agenda. So the people behind the DNC, obviously this is more of their agenda, and we've already seen pictures of her and George Soros' son. So I think the writing is on the wall. If we can have plant artists like Sexy Red, then how much more can we have a plant politician? And I think we got her because she starts over sassing. And this is just my personal opinion, just in me looking at it, because I can't help but notice while Jasmine Crockett's been doing her super duper sassy routine, you have Michelle Obama over here trying to somehow relate to the people with this thing with her brother and whatnot, her relationship with Barack Obama. They like trying to become real or authentic. But what I'm saying is, here's the sass, and then you have Michelle. Something to say. Why Democrat candidates? And they made sure to come out here and kind of with this new book, and we might get time to talk about that. They made sure to ish on old Kamala campaign. Surprise at all. So I'll put this little link here in the chat. Oh, and if you are watching on X or Facebook or here, well, number one, you should already be subscribed. But if you are watching on either of those two platforms, be it Facebook or Twitter or X, if you're watching on X, you're going to have to come over to the YouTube channel to hit the link to join. You will not be able to join through X because the link is not there. Actually, see what I can't do about that though. I can put it, I think, in the chat over there. You're just gonna have to get it though. Let me go here. There we are. Okay. So, maybe it's because I'm on my own page. Did we do that? Okay. Hang on, I'll try to put it into the chat over there, but I can't seem to get it into the. Oh, there we are. There we are. All right. Now, if you're coming up, and you're new to this platform, and we haven't, talked at all on this, you're most definitely gonna have to come on here with your camera on. I'm not fit. I don't need to put you on. So if you don't want to be on camera or on screen, I won't put you on screen. But just so I know that we don't have any troll business going in here, I'm gonna need you to pop in here with that on. So, but with that being said, let's see. Oh, and then all of a sudden it worked. That's crazy. So you should see all of them in the chat. Let me, close that. Okay. Now, while I'm waiting to see if anybody gonna come on in, if not, I still have something else to go over. Unfortunately, the guy running against her is against reparation, and he's black. Yeah. What's that cat? Shelton. Was it Shelton Daniel? Shelton Daniel. You know what we say about the people with the two first names. Usually that's a shirt tail sign that you are dealing with somebody from the islands. Because I was looking at Shelton, I'm like, okay, yeah, he could be. But I mean, there's some folks, there's some immigrants down there in Texas. So I am not surprised. I can't even. This makes me sick. This woman needs a history lesson. She does. And Devin Haley in the building. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And real quick, while I am waiting to see if anybody comes in here, there's a video circulating about the case in Frisco, Texas, with a young brother, Carmelo Anthony. There's a person that claims to be a witness of this. The IC racist, I believe, on X is who is responsible for locating this and putting this up. And it's a very interesting story, it's very similar to what we have already heard, but however, a little more in detail. And again, there must be a reason. This is Wednesday, so this has been a whole week. Why are the police giving so very little information, but this kid is charged? Now, I wasn't able to find, because I know his lawyer was supposed to be going to court today, but I haven't seen any results of that. So if anybody knows, let me know in the chat. But let's hear from a witness about what they seen and accounted at this tragic.
They got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up under the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity. So I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and whatever. They went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah. It wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away. It was community track meet, bruh. It wasn't a school track meet. So he had the right to have a knife on his person, bro.
Well, there it is. There it is. And again, I'm not completely certain that this person, is a legit witness. However, from the report of what was said and about what happened on the scene, this is pretty accurate because it's also talking about the downpour. Now, what I didn't realize is that this wasn't actually at a school, but it makes sense that that's why they had all of the different school tents with all of their like school, with the actual school name and all of that. So it makes sense that they would be out there like that, be representing. Now, there's something else that happened. Now, this is something off of TikTok. I believe also Brother Black Alpha got it on his X page. But I saw this earlier, and I'm not sure about this cat right here, if he's FBA or not, but this is something else that arose in the midst of this
we had
case.
A meeting with the leadership of the Frisco Police Department to discuss the matter of urgency in escalating racial threats and bigotry and online hate directed at the Anthony family. Let me be clear. The Anthony family cannot leave their home because of the growing threats towards their safety. Their personal address has been exposed. They have received graphic and racist threats. They are being targeted with violence, and simply because their child is in the center of this tragedy. We cannot allow racism and bigotry to divide us. We cannot allow white America to decide when and how Black people can speak up against oppression. We do not pull the race card, we live it. These graphic images not only display children with knives, Black children with knives stuck in their head, the Anthony family's address. We saw when this case first started that people were putting online that when Section 8 was accepted into the Frisco neighborhood, that became the lead of the downfall of Frisco.
It's funny how people just automatically always talk about, well, they try, how racist Black people could be. You got to be kidding. That's a joke. Number one, we don't have the power structure to be racist, so we can't deprive you of anything. So that right there is just simply an untruth. But even more so, these people with the death threats and you're doing all of this towards this young man, and a lot of it is happening right here in this month of April, which, by the way, is New Black Media Appreciation Month. And they're doing all of these societal antics and then trying to always project, and their projections are crazy. I mean, crazy, crazy projections. I seen one. I seen this mayonnaise laden she probably about, who knows how old this one. I bet you this woman might be in her 20s or 30s. Possibly. But it's so funny watching these false narratives pop out. And you know, everybody got something to say. Now, brothers, if y'all like these Caucasian ladies and that's what you want to date, well, two things. And one being, they'll get into bed with you and they will still be just as anti-black, just as racist. Why? Because when they had bucks on their plantations, just like the men had slaves, it didn't stop them from having sex with their slaves now, did it? But they did not see that being as a person. They saw them as property, which still some of that transcends to this day. Because, you know, how does that leopard literally change its spots? Now, secondly, brothers, always remember, you talk about some of the women that you don't want to be, hey, they plain Jane. Well, I'm going to tell you for real, you need to know what they look like without all of that makeup on, because they might end up looking like this before the age
Carmelo
of 40.
Anthony was the instigator, not the victim. He walked into the tent where Austin's teammates were with a knife, intending to use it. Austin told him to leave for whatever reason, and because he said words, Carmelo opened his bag with the knife in it and threatened Austin by saying, "Put your hands on me and find out what happens," and then told Austin to punch him. Carmelo at that time became a threat, and Austin had a right to defend himself. So he tried to physically move Carmelo and his bag out of the tent, and Carmelo took the knife and stabbed him. Carmelo Anthony was not fearful for his life. He walked in that tent with a knife, intending to use it, and tried to provoke a fight with Austin Metcalf, and then stabbed Austin Metcalf when he tried to get Carmelo out of the tent. It was murder, not self-defense.
Just making videos lying about the entire ordeal. Wasn't a witness, but it's just what happened, and he did it intentionally. I just played that just to let you see the societal nature of the demon of supremacy. Can't help themselves but to come out and lie. I have to embellish this. Because really, truth be told, this is putting that in his place gone wrong. While they thought this kid was going to be the victim of the ambush, it didn't turn out that way. And these people are upset. That's another reason why they're so pissed off. They know. All of this ain't lost on them. They fully aware of why they're upset. Now, ladies, on the other hand, always remember to check your surroundings, and always remember, because you're black, you ain't never alone. Now, You know, there was a comment that was made in my video about Barack Obama that, you know, somebody got in there and started talking. I think they deleted their comment because I definitely responded to that. They said that the media did nothing but spread Trump's lies. Oh, we not finna just rewrite history from a few months ago. No. All we heard nonstop is that Trump's a liar. 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 He lies. He lies. He lies. He lies. He has 34 felonies. He has 34 felonies. He has 34 felonies. He also has been he's a SA person and he's done did this and he guilty of that and he's done all of these things. And they still like, okay, well, then why did you lose? Because people didn't know any better. Cannot be serious. Kid Gravity Beyond, what's going on, brother? Black First, Night Rider check-in. Man, thank you for being here, my good brother. Appreciate it as always. Yes. Yeah, like I said, you know, rough looking lady. I said she might be 26. But again, she. How many of y'all think she is under the age of 40? Ooh. Her face was born 10 years before she was. Anyway, let me. Oh, Lord. One who cares, I'm 57. She wished that she was as wrinkle-free at probably 32 as you are at 57. But you black women, you always want to, you just deep it down in your heart, you want to look like that white woman now, don't you? Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lordy me. You know what makes me think she's fairly younger? Now, she could be dyeing her hair, but the fact that she isn't overly gray, and you know, I see a few, like probably some gray strands up there. I'm saying under 40. I could be wrong. Mm, 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 mm. He did it. He done did it. Her face definitely is over 40. But like I said, I believe her face was born about 10 years before the rest of her. Priscilla Taylor says she's supposed to be 43. She looks older but acts 30 something. Oh, she is supposed to be 43? Hmm. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Wait. oh, oh yeah. Okay, so Jasmine, she is supposed to be 43. Okay, so she's yikes. So 43. So she should definitely have had an experience with the black grandma at some point in time. You know what I'm saying? And for her to always speak the way she does, like there's too many things that she does that are so. I mean, how do I put this? Ungrandma-ish. Things that your grandma wouldn't allow, or things that you were taught not to do as kids. One of them is make fun of the handicapped or the mentally impaired or somebody with a deformity, because what would we be told? You better not do that or your kid come out looking like that. We used to get told that as children. Now we little kids, of course, I guess nowadays, you mean don't gender designate my child. They don't have to be a birther if they don't want to. But anyway, back in when we still lived in the real world, people would say that to us because, yes, as it is, I have grown children now. So clearly I'm fit the bill. But anyway, it would tell you, don't you make fun of these, don't you make fun of them people. They people too. And you never know, you talk about them and your child might come out like that. And that's, for people in our lineage, because there's a lot of fraudulent individuals out here, like my grandmother. How many of y'all had a superstitious grandma? My handwriting is up right now because my grandma told my mom, who absolutely should not have listened to her, but nonetheless did, and said, you know what? You need to make that little boy right. Use his right hand because little left-handers is strange. You don't want him to grow up to be strange, do you? Now, how many of y'all know what strange means? I know what strange means. Judah Israel said, I heard my great-grandfathers were superstitious. Oof, Lord, you talk about super duper stitch. Like, you know how you might, I don't know what, some of y'all open your umbrellas in the house and dry them in the house. Like people do that. I don't know where I came from. You most definitely ain't doing that. Yeah, she's a Delta. Remember when I did Sassy Sorrows puppets? And she up there, she doing her little Delta sign. Yeah, she a Delta. Jasmine Crockett. She's a Delta like Katanji. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had them superstition. We know better than to be talking about the handicap like this nut did. Again, just coming off as a tether. And then again, I'm telling you, her stick comes from a few people. One of them being one of the voices out of the grassroots. And I can't help but notice, but she just does it in such a tangy, annoying tone. And her voice is just so annoying to me. Maybe she needs to add a little bit of rasp to her voice. But then maybe then she'd be like, oh, people could actually get my shtick. You're not Vicky Dillard, Jasmine Crockett. You are a weak knockoff imitation of and Vicky Dillard's just one. You just took a pieces from everybody and compiled them all into one and said, this is who I'm gonna be. I'm America's sassy black woman, and y'all better listen to me. I'm telling you, there's a few people that we see off of bit old Jasmine now, isn't it? Check this out.
Because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes.
You wrote that? You literally wrote that. These people are insane. And I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Y'all just voted 77 million, and then you let the 91 million stay home. You voted for the couch. Do you know what you did? This is what you asked for. Oh my God, it's up and down and it's turmoil all around. No, we still here chilling. Nothing's changed. We're just another day being black. Can't say I've experienced much different. Matter of fact, actually, nobody's really been bothering us much. I think there's enough going on elsewhere. People are busy about themselves. Matter of fact, there's there's been some layoffs and whatnot going on, and here just in my city right now, where I guess we're waiting for the details all to come out. But as it seems, this woman might have allegedly, possibly, removed her 3 children from this existence and then removed herself from this existence. And they really slow walking that. So I guess we're still waiting to hear the details, but I guess they didn't want to rush out and say this white woman just everybody. But yeah, that's pretty much what just took place. And also there was an incident in New York that people were waiting on in Brooklyn. There was all of the supremacists, boy, they had their keyboards fired up. All they needed to do was just hit send. And it was finna be a bunch of N-bombs and these violent ends, and that's what they get. And then they see this Asian lady being walked out that just meat cleavered her family and removed them from this existence, being model minorities and all, like Diane Yap, who now is for some reason taking a very hard feminism type of line, which is very odd and weird, and it comes off as extremely tacky and weird from her. But nonetheless, that's where she's gone. I guess the race hustle is dying over there because realistically, we see that you're Chinese and they're revoking visas, especially for you Chinese out here in the West Coast. I mean, they finding people over here at the States, universities here, Oregon, getting them out the paint. They're like 300 folks got their stuff revoked. Hey, Diane, yeah. How much do black folks hate Chinese and Asians and all of that? Right? Because we the ones that got all the hate and animosity for you, right? Maybe not. And then you was doing your Pepe Le Frog anti-black routine. Man, that just blew up. That race hustle is getting a little tired. Guess what? You guys came after black folks, helped them folks get rid of affirmative action and college admissions. See, this is also funny, you know, that the whole DEI and we're going to protest about DEI, but you guys stayed silent about affirmative action in schools. That lets you know that this whole DEI thing is about the Skittles community and illegal immigrants. Oh, and I almost forgot the most important of them all, white women. To which, remember, Diane Yap, you ain't. Remember when we told you that? You ain't white. You ain't white. You ain't white. How are they letting you feel right now, Diane Yap? Are they letting you know? But no, see, I'm on your side. Meanwhile, your white friends over there behind your back, Diane Yap, are like, wow, look at all these Chinese losing their visas. And here's Diane Yap's friends. Sucks to be a racist like you when you don't belong here, because we are the undeportable. Let me reintroduce ourselves. My name is Hope Nigga. Oh Lord. Yeah, go holler at Diane Yap. Yeah, she need her visa revoked. I think they want to go have a little holler at her too. Yeah, what's going on, Kerman Wingfield in the building? What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, there will be one sister with curly wig, and I'm telling you, I'm just waiting for her to break out a damn gavel. I'm like, how long before she breaks out a gavel? I'm adjourning this meeting. Okay, none of us know where that comes from, Jasmine. And again, like, you don't have any Black women examples close to you. Oh yeah, but you guys remember that other broadcast that I did was she's kind of alluding that she never grew up. She didn't grow up around Black folk. She didn't grow up around us like that. Which, you know, that's why everybody's asking, where's her family from? Carmen Williams says she is definitely not a Barbara Jordan. She used to cut and still managed to be classy. Absolutely. I'm from Texas. We're not going to hold that one. As St. Louis, step up and come get her. Claim your girl. For real. And you know, that's what's so funny is she's literally from St. Louis. You're like, why did she well, I know why she went to Texas. She went to Texas to get her career on. And then she comes out of her mouth like a genius and says, yeah, I didn't prosecute any cases. I was just went in there and said, hi. He said, why? Because I'm Black. This woman literally told y'all she didn't have no experience. And then you'll get these folks getting up on these platforms. These people get up on these platforms and tell us how accomplished she is. Same thing with Kamala Harris. Y'all remember, well, some of y'all might remember, I played a video maybe a year or 2 years ago now of Kamala talking about how she didn't try that many cases. So she, as a trial attorney or trial lawyer, she doesn't have an extensive history. The only person that they legitimately put in front of you that does, and her history is funky when it comes down to Black folks, is Ketanji Brown Jackson. And I mean, just for what I can say for what I know, just, you know, I won't even say that. Just, again, another Delta connection, more Boule, and another person that married a white man. Now, it's funny that Jasmine Crockett was talking about Byron Donald and his white woman. I'm like, the thing about what they do with Kamala. What do they always tell us about Kamala? And we didn't want her because she's a woman. And I mean, we've been about beat over the head every which way you can. Let's see, where is this? Oh, real quick, let me play this though. Another reason why and what we are reject over here. Y'all got this real weird agenda, Democrats. Y'all got this really, really, really weird agenda. And then it shows, because this is why I don't want a born male in like the whole women's sports thing. I believe women, natural born women, should have their space, which should be their space. Same as natural born men, you know. And I think because we're dealing with testosterone with men, that naturally takes because I mean, hell, you for any transition, you got to deal with the beta male land at some point. And for some reason, whoever came out here and told y'all that there wasn't no such things as alpha males or beta males, what are you kidding? Ladies, don't fool yourselves. If you like a beta male, you like a beta male. That's cool. That'll give you some kind of sucker, or well, not necessarily that all beta males are suckers, but I will say they take a hell of a lot. But besides the beta males are the males that didn't make it as men. And then, you know, they found that they were a woman. Now, some may have legitimately felt that way all of their lives. But when I see people like this person I'm about to play here, it comes off as a political version of the dude that goes everywhere and sets up his camera and waits to be misgendered. And it's like knives in the heart. He called me sir. I don't understand. I mean, I clearly am a woman. Why did he call me sir? I mean, look, man, if I went around you and called you ma'am, their voices be all hella deep. I am a woman.
And we are here today because while we know that Donald Trump thinks that he can place his hands anywhere, we're telling him, hell no, hands off our Social Security, hands off our Medicaid, hands off Medicare, hands off SNAP, hands off our kids, hands off women's rights, hands off LGBTQ rights. We are here because we know our lives and the lives of our neighbors are worth fighting for. We know that our future is worth fighting for.
Kind of funny coming from a trans to say keep our hands off our children. Isn't that kind of what the Democrats lost about? All that drag story time crap that you guys were doing. Let me tell you something. And I think I've mentioned this before on this broadcast, but you know, my mother has been a open lesbian since I was 13. So I've seen a lot of this stuff, especially before it was mainstream. And I've watched from her involvement with radical women, which I believe is probably just dissolved, or either they're just quiet. That's what they call far left. And so this is what parties will do in times of need. So if there is a major conservative Democrat regime at the time, then you'll have this offshoot that starts putting all this other stuff out. But realistically, it's all the Democrats. But they come out and represent themselves as they are a third party. They're not. because they're always going to defer. How you have a third party that never got a damn candidate? That ain't no third party. You're just a propaganda piece for the Democrats' left, radical left agenda. And so when I hear these idiots and these young dum-dums reusing they're falsely using these words, a radical left agenda, that means us. No, contraire, mon frere. We are absolutely in the realm of benign neglect. That's why I used to get on my mom's top about even fooling with them folks. Because back then, and this isn't in the 90s, folks. Let me be clear. This is before I met my wife. So we're talking radical women and this radical party. Their agenda back then was pushing this rainbow agenda, pushing gay marriage, which probably a lot of y'all didn't even hear as a relevant movement until Barack Obama. I was telling people before 2020 that this was coming. They're like, what? No. Yeah. Not only that, though, you got some of these churches, they in league. So you're going to be hearing TD Jakes, he's going to be co-signing. They're like, nope. I specifically mentioned TD Jakes. It's like, watch, TD Jakes is going to be co-signing gay marriage. No, you'll never do that. I've told that story here too. So again, I mean, these people have these agendas, and you got these radical parties that are the radical left. There is no, but they falsely use that and then try to say, well, they're trying to push reparations. Because I noticed that there was one of these little supremacist accounts that was trying to say something about Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett does not represent the Black community, nor does she ever mention reparations, nor does she has she ever been an advocate for reparations. These words don't come out of her mouth. She's only fighting for illegal immigrants. I remember putting that out there and watch people freeze. And then, you got a lot of these people, oh man, all the victimhood and this and that. And then 7 days ago, tragedy struck in an unfortunate accident of self-defense, or incident, not accident, but incident of self-defense. And has one brother falsely overcharged. Because I don't know how you can charge somebody with capital murder before you have all the evidence of the crime. Not to mention, if he asked these people, was he okay? So right there, you already have the intent wiped off. So how does that charge substantiate? See, now we look at all of these other places like, oh, well, we can't bring this charge because we won't get a conviction on this charge. We won't give them that charge because we won't get a conviction. Y'all literally charge this kid with something that really can't stick. But nonetheless, you did it. And just you just pay attention to the double standards, because they damn sure ain't went nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Double standards have went nowhere. Let's see here. Where do I want to go? Oh, I want to play a little bit of this because this is so funny.
Obama absolutely did not think that Joe Biden should continue, according to our sources close to President Obama. And he also didn't want Kamala Harris to be the replacement for Biden. He didn't think that she was the best choice for Democrats. And he worked really behind the scenes for a long time to try to have a mini or a convention or mini primary leading to an open convention. Did not have faith in her ability to win the election. So, and as it turned out, she didn't win, but he was really working against her. In one moment, he had set up a phone call with Congressman Clyburn from South Carolina on the day that Joe Biden handed off the baton to Kamala Harris. And Obama had set up a call with Clyburn for like 5:30 that afternoon. And Clyburn thought to himself, this guy's going to try to rope me into the open convention thing. I better get my endorsement of Harris out there fast so that this is a short conversation.
Wow.
So that's, and when Harris talked to Obama on the day that Biden handed off to her, Obama was unwilling to give his endorsement then.
Wow. You know, any
You know, something that I noticed in that. Democrats, there's something that you're missing in what Barack Obama keeps trying to get through to you. And I don't know how you guys will be able to tolerate it or accept it. But take it from Barack Obama, since he is the only one who can speak from this position. Democrats, your failure will continue until you abandon trying to make Kamala Harris black. Barack Obama ain't stupid because he remembers. I know there's a lot of you youngins that be like, huh? Yeah, this is one thing y'all forget. This delineation movement just didn't start here. There was a bunch of people, I guess y'all forgot. They wasn't rocking with Barack Obama. Why? Because he wasn't one of us. Why do you think they talk about Michelle? Who needed to be convinced using Michelle Obama? White people? Who do y'all think they were trying to convince? Why did he need to have an actual black woman? Because him not being a foundational black American, they wouldn't call it a foundation of code. Fine. He wasn't a descendant of chattel slavery, and that was a problem back then. That's why they needed a Michelle Obama to savvy that over. That's why you saw the mom and all of that. That's why you saw them so much. They had to blacken old Barry up. And then hide all of his previous white girlfriends. And then hire some model-looking pretty boy to do whatever the hell he did for him until people started asking questions about what does he do? Y'all remember that dude that used to be around Obama when he was in office? Looked like one of those dudes that are at like the Versace Paris fashion shows. Y'all remember that dude? You ain't seen him since. Is he still on the planet? But you know how these folks get down about how they get rid of their dirt. Don't use that Clinton push broom. You better know it. Come on now. Here's the light of the world. I like Ricky Dillon music though. But for sure. I remember back in 1993 when I was in Oakland at a GMWA board meeting. And yeah, you know, I was 17 at the time. So, you know, I was traveling and playing. in my teens. But we was at this board meeting. Gospel Music Workshop was like the players' ball for homosexuals. Like they stepping out and matching furs and cashmere overcoats. We really doing it? Matching suits. Like the Bay is doing the most in their churches. The absolute utmost. Lord. Y'all on some different type of time out here. But yeah, I know a few of them had to play for a few of them directors. I played for maybe I gotta break these stories down sometime. I gotta do that on my other channel, Sunday Drums. But I need to tell some of them stories. Because Lord, I remember being approached once after, but actually before I actually played for this individual. So you know, I guess he didn't like being rejected, and you know, fired me indirectly on the gig. Still had to pay me, of course. I'm a high. And so now you can rent the kit, which actually I was using my cousin's kit, so it just worked out. So how's about that? Oh man. Yes. Oh, shout out to Boykin Spayo too for shooting me emailing me that video earlier, or messaging me that video that I played from the witness in Frisco. But yeah, this brother, he was upset. He was upset he was rejected. I've seen some real tacky stuff from gospel music, man. Real tacky gospel music. But you know, but when people say the world, at least the world, you know what you're dealing with. These church Negroes is something else. However, majority of them are still tied in, and this is the other problem with that. They are juiced in and intertwined into politics by way of all of them being part of these little organizations. Priscilla Taylor said, "I never knew she worked with Lee." Yeah, she worked for Lee Merritt. Yeah, she used to work with Lee Merritt. Well, she worked for Lee Merritt and worked with Ben Crump. Without a lot of experience. So obviously she was there to get her career furthered. And with old Benjamin Crump, he probably just went ahead and took some money. We gotta just keep the network going for my Boule brothers and sisters. Now, where's he at in this Frisco thing, Mr. Ben Crump? Have y'all seen anything from Ben Crump about Frisco? The grassroots got this kid's for defense, and Ben Crump ain't fly his private jet there. I guess they had better things to do, huh? Like, yeah, we ain't really worried about that. We ain't really tripping about that. Let me show you what went on here. Yeah, I'll play this. And since nobody popped up, there is something else I want to kind of go through, which is kind of crazy, but looks like we have a little bit of time, and I want to run through that real quick before we go. It's been an interesting week. a very interesting week. One of the things that they did do is bite right off this platform here with a week knockoff hands off rally. So hands off this, hands off that, hands off of everything, hands off over here, hands off over there. But ain't nobody say hashtag hands off of reparations. So here in my city, we have a lot of these other paid and bought for protesters who are coming out protesting for everything and nothing else, all at the same time. Check this out. Come right over here and, we're going to do our thing on MLK. Look at us, everybody. We have literally a police escort shut down the city and divert traffic. I'm going to play a little bit of this. I ain't going to play all of it, but I do want to play y'all just a tad bit of a good old Negro. That's about the only way I can put this. Good old Negro. These folks really could be out here talking about reparations and the conditions of their people, but instead, they're now trying to push a coalition. So when you have the coalition thing, so basically we get back to representing everybody else's agenda. That's why they keep rolling out Jasmine Crockett out here, and it keeps invoking America is a nation of immigrants. No, America is a nation built off of free labor from chattel slavery, and that group of people has also been targeted for 400 years for oppression in this land. So let's be clear. Now let's hear a little bit of pork chop preacher that could barely stand up straight, William Barr.
Of you, Trump and Musk, who want to be dictators and want to be kings and lords. They are afraid of the power of love and truth and justice. They are afraid of your unity and your diversity. Well, let's keep them afraid until they change. My friends, this is way bigger than just a party issue. This is an outright battle for civilization. And the truth is, they are all scared of your power to come together. And they are betting that we will be afraid of them. But this is the time that we must increase, intensify, and embolden our agitation for what is right. We must declare that the only way a wannabe king can be king is if we bow, but bowing down is not an option. Our knees aren't made for bowing. We are not going to bow to power-drunk, neo-fascist extremists. We only bow to God. And so we must stand tall. When they attack everyday people with mean, hurtful policies, we must stand tall as they take your hand off of our lives. So stand up to the technocrats. It's time for our pulpits to stand tall. It's time for statesmen and stateswomen to stand tall. It's time for the people to stand tall. We must mobilize our righteous bodies and our voices and our hearts by the millions. We must stand tall because bowing down is not an option.
Literally didn't say Absolutely nothing. He ain't tell y'all. Yeah. He just, so we're going to do this and we're going to do that and we're going to fight and we're going to go to Washington. And it's Howard Dean all over again. Oh, Lord. Oh, man. Brutally terrible. Brutally terrible. Absolutely terrible. Now, in the world of things that are terrible, is this story that I'm sure a lot of you have seen. This pro-lifer steps out on a Brooklyn or New York City street somewhere and stopped a big backed Hispanic woman who didn't like where the conversation went after she said what she said. And then she proceeds to two-piece the reporter. Now, when I first saw this video, I was like, okay, that's typical of how these people act. But I went and saw other people try to commentate or give their commentary on this. And I'm hearing Democrats try to make excuses to say that the woman who was doing the interviewing was using violent, aggressive language. Well, that either is the case or it is not the case. And it appears that this probably is not the case. But let's see.
You have a channel?
Yeah, we're doing some interviews today.
I love your skin tone too.
Thank you. Such a good vibe.
Of course.
Well, awesome. So we're asking people's opinion today on Planned Parenthood. Are you familiar with them?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know what they provide?
Yes. Abortions.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Abortions.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know any other services that they provide?
I know, like, to teens, if you're under 18, you could get like birth control, condoms, counseling. They offer a lot of, beneficial things that the youth really should use right now.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I took that off the screen is because they have a illustration on the screen of how abortions are done. It's certain different trimesters, and I would want to spare the general public, and I'm sure YouTube would appreciate if I did not show that. So that's why I'm leaving that off the screen for now. However, once this is off the screen, I will be bringing this video back up.
Okay. So you have a pretty positive view of Planned Parenthood.
But I want
majority. I don't know. Is this like a yes or no? Am I wrong?
It's your opinion.
But yeah, that is definitely my opinion. I feel like, especially as teens, people get caught up in things that they really don't want to commit to for their entire lives. So,
yeah.
Wow. People get caught up in things that they do not want to commit their lives to. Like catching a prison charge. There's a lot of people in prison that was like, man, I wish I wasn't here. But guess what? Because you did something that put you there for life or something, then yeah, that's kind of what happens, yeah. But she's just so nonchalant about life. And this is what I really found disturbing about this interaction. Her nonchalantness about life. It made me think how we talk about handguns. And why do these young brothers not value life? What are you kidding? You cannot say one side values life over the other because one does it with the pistol and the other does it with this wicked mind state and say, well, I don't want to be burdened with this life. so I'm going to go get rid of it. Both are the exact same. Well, one's humane. There's no such thing. So let me go ahead and keep letting this woman go. But I'm just wanting y'all to understand the psyche of some of these people out here.
You know, you get caught up with the wrong guy, you think you're in love, and then whoop, now you stuck. Not stuck, but you're stuck with a baby for the rest of it, you know, this time, literally the rest of their lives and your life, if you're that kind of mother, because some women just don't have it in them and they abandon them and abuse them and all kind of shit. And it's like, girl, just get rid of it if you know you're going to do that.
Get rid of them. Why not just give them to another family that's good?
No, but exactly even that. And that's another option that Planned Parenthood offers. So it's like, if you know that you are.
Let me show you the reference that she just made. Planned Parenthood aborts 222 babies for every one adoption referral. That's incredibly insane.
Are not the being who can provide for this child, then there are alternative options out there for you. So I definitely understand why people do abort children. Don't have babies that you don't want. Don't have babies that men are telling you in front of your face that they do not want.
Let's back up for a bit. Something else we hear often, especially in this modern, as they say, modern woman era. Like the women who are upset at Felicia Rashad. Why did you just send her men? You don't need to see what you had to unlearn all of that. And you can't be centering men in it. You have to de-center men. But when she went around for looking for people to blame, sure didn't take her long now, did it? Dang, you can't de-center men when it's coming down to blame somebody for your poor sexual choices. Oh, all of a sudden it's men's fault, huh? Wow. Let's hear some more of this good solid Christian logic.
Sex we don't want to have a child with.
That too. To me, it's always pro-choice, your body, your life, because that baby is gonna be a baby.
It's a baby.
Yeah, and you're gonna have.
It's pro-choice. It's always your choice. Okay, well then my question, like she's asking, why are you not being responsible with your choices? And she's kind of gonna allude to that. Let's see what this woman has to say about that part.
That person.
So
yeah. Well, do you know that Planned Parenthood gets nearly $700 million of our taxpayer money every year?
$700 million. I mean, honestly, I can't go against Planned Parenthood. I just can't.
Planned Parenthood is literally about the genocide of dark folk. Meaning you too, lady. Obviously, that's something that's over your head to understand, but I hope that you would be able to comprehend that much. That actually means you. You know, just will help out there. You know, just in case if you didn't know, they would like to abort you.
$100 million for how many single mothers
of our money? But they're not giving it to single mothers, though.
Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna just, single out where it is that our tax dollars go, then the police, respectfully.
So it's really.
Say what? If we're gonna single out where our tax dollars go.
Interesting because since 2010, prenatal care has been down for 80% since 2010 at Planned Parenthood. Adoption referrals. So this is why this is research straight from their yearly report of 2022 to 2023, I believe it is. And so they're a 501c3. They have to tell us what they do every single year. So this is straight.
Which should be any union corporation. If we are paying tax dollars towards you, I need to know that you are doing the job and doing it correctly.
Now that I absolutely agree with. I cannot disagree. So, yes, if you are a business operating, getting all this tax money, we do need to see where the money's going or where the money is not going. I think that is a fair ask. Anyway, continuing on.
Right. But let me continue to tell you. So that STI testing down 15% since 2019. Client numbers down overall 34% since 2006.
Nobody has insurance. I don't have insurance.
Donors down 21%.
What happened to the ACA? What the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare? And you work for a Fortune 500 company and you don't have health insurance. What Fortune 500 company is not giving you health insurance if you work for them? Or you work there and you're a contractor. Now that could be. I don't have any insurance. Interesting.
Contraceptives down 44%, breast screenings, manual breast exams down over 80%, and you mentioned adoption. They commit 228 abortions for every one adoption referral. So why are they getting so much more money yet all of their services are going down?
The services are going down because people are afraid. Women.
What are they afraid of?
Women don't know. They don't know what they're exposed their bodies to. A lot of people, especially behind abortion, there's a stigma.
But their abortions are going up. So they used to have this slogan where they said safe, legal, and rare. That's what we want. Safe, legal, and rare abortions, until it was exposed that a lot of these facilities were requiring abortion quotas. So the more abortions each facility did, the more praise that they would get. They would get a.
And that ain't wicked. That is wicked. It's the best contraception. Keep your legs closed. Well, Judy is right. She's gonna give a response to that. Yeah, we gonna get to that response.
Awards, and so it's really interesting. That doesn't really make it seem like they want safe, legal, and rare abortions.
Mm-hmm. How many people can you think, or are you gonna assume, will literally abandon their children with no repercussions from the state?
No, it's called safe haven baby boxes. We're at a fire station or hospital. Your abortion, right?
No, ma'am.
It's not better to give your baby up to a family who wants them instead of killing them?
No, ma'am. I have seen so many stories and countless, literally, countless stories.
What happens in an abortion?
You can't convince this loon that life is valuable. Is this the end result of taking God out to schools? I know people, well, there's a lot of things that need to be in the school. Do you hear this? This is like the ultimate in selfishness. Like, you're not even talking about a person as if they're a person. I will have to say, there's a lot of people that would, I don't know if you agree with me or disagree, but I don't think people in that position really could be crying too much about when they find themselves in relationships or interactions where a person doesn't look at them as a person. Because that realistically is karma. Well, that's a mean thing to say. Could be mean. You could disagree. But I find that if you look at all these other instances, kind of a cause and effect.
They literally suck the life out of you. They're going to take the whole baby out. And as they should, because I shouldn't be a taxpayer paying child support and food stamps and WIC for
you
women
should be a
who never
taxpayer
wanted the
paying
baby.
for abortions?
Exactly.
She's literally just ready to just throw the baby away. She is anti-baby. She isn't pro-abortion. She's anti-baby.
Exactly. But as for a woman who didn't want the baby in the first place, that doesn't make sense to me. Don't ever sit here and lock yourself down with a man who already told you he doesn't want to be with you. He does.
Uh-oh. How did we get right back to centering the man in the conversation? Your body, your choice. Why aren't you taking that responsibility in this conversation? Why do you keep going back to the man now? The man ain't got no say in what you do because it's your body, it's your choice. So why is the man keep getting centered in your conversation, ma'am? Louie.
I agree with you.
I'm not disagreeing with you either. I understand.
You don't get to kill the baby just because their dad didn't want them.
Can.
Should we kill the kids in foster care? And
Why not? Why not? If that's the case,
we should kill the kids in foster care that aren't wanted.
Who's going to take care of them? I need to know the percentage of people who take children from foster care and abuse them and molest them, who make them like personal slaves.
So I just want y'all to see is for you just heard what she just did. She absolutely, because people are gonna be like, oh yeah, no, she didn't say that. That lady that made that video talking about the reporter was using violent language and aggressive. She wasn't. There's only one aggressive person here, and that's this nut that is so bloodthirsty for the unborn. This is insane. Pregnant women, if you're friends with her, don't ever eat or drink with her. Don't eat at her house. Matter of fact, while your whole pregnancy, don't even be at her house. Don't be anywhere where this woman stay. She's an omen to your kid. Your kid may be coming out looking like the baby from Z or V. If y'all old enough to remember that. Y'all remember the V, the what was it, mini series? And the one dude fell in love with the with the alien. They got together, and the baby. No, it's the woman fell in love with him, and he's an alien. And then the baby came out. Oh man, I think it was a nightmare, a dream. So, but I believe the baby did come out cool. But that was the dream that she had. The baby's gonna have a big old lizard head. Oh my goodness, whoever is old enough to remember that. But this is crazy. This woman is nuts, man. And she just literally justified whacking out children after they're already well off in life. Why? Because, what's wrong with these people? Judy Israel said, I saw it on Tubi, Morris Chestnut. It was a remake of the from 70s and 80s or 80s. Yeah, it was from the 80s. Yes, indeed. And the 80s, as you know, that CGI and all the makeup hasn't got to where it wasn't at where it is now. Lady F in the building, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member. Is she like, hey, you do that and whack them out? Now she's about to say that.
Just kill them.
Statistics before you come to me talking about pro-life.
We should kill the victims of molestation.
I think, what does this have to do with molestation?
You just mentioned people molesting children. We should kill kids foster care is what you said.
What I'm saying is in general, overall. If I don't want to have a baby, I should have the choice to.
Just don't have sex then. Just don't have sex.
That's not even logical.
It is.
It is. Who are you, Nancy?
I sound down.
If I don't want to have a baby, I should have the choice to.
Just don't have sex then. Just don't have sex.
That's not even logical.
It is. It is. Who are you? Mention people molesting children. We should kill the kids in foster care is what you said.
What I'm saying is in general, overall. If I don't want to have a baby, I should have the choice to.
Just don't have sex then. Just don't have sex.
That's not even logical.
It is.
It is. Who are you, Nancy?
I sound down. You sound dumb as. Okay.
It does, because even as teens, people explore. And it's like, as funny as you want to be, people should still have the choice.
So you went from saying that my outfit was really cute to saying I'm an effing idiot. That's so mean.
But I think that your point of view is very obstructed. And I think that you just don't understand the magnitude of having a child.
Yeah, well, I'm not the one who admitted they would be okay with killing babies in foster care and killing children.
Now, and she lived there. So now you see what led up to her hitting her. This was just
children that have been abused.
That's not the point. What I'm saying.
That's really.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the point. What I'm saying.
That's really.
Stop telling me. What's wrong with you? Stop telling me.
You have a.
That's the point. What I'm saying.
That's really.
Stop telling me. What's wrong with you? Stop telling me.
You have a. Oh my God. What the f are you doing?
All right. Yeah, she attacked my wife. All right.
Your wife is attacking me.
Yeah, so why you want to?
Why you following me?
Lord. Moral of the story is, ladies, if you're petite and you are seeking to do interviews on the street, be mindful of who you stop to ask questions to. And if you're looking at one of those areas that is probably known to be on the liberal side of things, you most definitely want to make sure that you do not get yourself caught up by a big back, angry, abortion-loving Democrat or person at all, because at the end of the day, this person already told you they have nothing but violence in their spirit. They've told you that I want to see if I let the mother have the choice and them kids is born and they in foster care, well, let me double back and get rid of them. And that somehow made sense to her. But then the idea of being sexually responsible is something that would set her off and put her into motion to get overly physical. I believe they have arrested that girl since. I believe she has been arrested, actually. That was that is something, ain't it? Let me see. Let's see. See if I can find that. Okay, so the girl's name was Savannah Craven Antoyo. That must be her husband's name. News about the woman who hit her. Okay, so that's what I want to see. we at? Promotion 5 days. I'm trying to see if there's any newer. There we go. So there is an article here. There sure the hell is. All right. This. Oh, the pictures are the pictures on this are apps. Wait, let me get this in there for y'all real quick. Oh, wait, what's going on here? Where'd it go? Oh man. Okay, let me get this over here. We are almost out of here, ladies and gentlemen, but I needed to show you all this. Oh, okay, so there we go. Oh. Yikes. She says to Savannah, I sincerely apologize, but cannot sit around and allow you to continue. Wait a minute. Hold on. I don't know what that is. Let me make this a little smaller here. This is just too big. Okay. So it says the NYC woman who decked pro-life activist claims she was provoked into violence. Wow. Okay. You're going to wait. Okay. So let's go. The woman who socked pro-life reporter in the face during a filmed interview offered an apology Saturday, but claimed her antagonistic victim goaded her into violence. Breonna Rivers of the Bronx admitted that she was wrong in slugging Savannah Craven and Toa, a reporter for pro-life advocacy group Live Action. I guess that's her. With her lips poked out. Hey, why does this thing keep doing that? This page is tripping. We're not doing that. To Savannah, I sincerely apologize, but cannot sit around and allow you to continue pushing this one-sided narrative. I understand hands being put on someone is never the answer, but throwing rocks and hiding hands is worse. Ma'am, that ain't what took place. That is not what took place. Let me do something real quick because it just I keep getting this message on this page for some reason. It just keeps freezing up. I don't know what's happening. Okay, that's what we're doing. So now this Windows is going to be free. I don't know what's going on New York Post right now. You guys, your site is trash. So it's just back. Pull up something else and just go through it so you know how that goes. Oh, yeah, we work now. Okay. She knows the truth and she needs to release the footage in its entirety. Savannah is a professional antagonist, not a reporter, and the truth will be told. Okay, I don't know why you just took me there. It just brought up an entirely different article. Oh, wow. Okay, we'll just do that. So I don't know what the hell is going on here. I was trying to share it, but it won't let me do it. Yeah, New York Post is tripping today. I don't know what's going on with that page. But yeah, she do got an interesting look. Let's see. I will not allow my image to be defamed. By this woman's actions. Anyone who knows me knows how respectful I am. ma'am, we saw you in your entirety. I don't even litter. There's no way you can believe I'm punching people for disagreeing with my point of view. Yeah, and actually, no, you didn't punch her because of your disagreement of point of view. You punched her in the face because she repeated what you said. And then you got frustrated because you didn't like the fact that you're now being called out on what you said, and you didn't like it. But all she did was repeat what you said. So to sit up here and say, no, ma'am. No, no victim here, ma'am. Let's see. Now, this says she could not immediately be reached for comment. Craven reported the incident to police by admitting to the police and admitting to provoking Rivers. Authorities said Rivers had not been arrested as of Saturday afternoon. The two butted heads during the conversation on the street Thursday about Planned Parenthood and abortion that Craven Antoa, 23, was conducting as part of her work for Live Action. And so I guess this is also what she needed to say. So she says, I need a platform to share my side of events. She has 7 million views, making me out to be a child-killing monster when she knows the truth. She railroaded me into all of this. She needs to release the unedited footage with her relentless antagonization on a subject that is very touchy. I will not allow my image to be defamed by this woman's actions. Anyone who knows me knows I am how respectful I am. I don't even know. Okay, bye. And so that's all the other stuff. But yeah, you did punch her because you had a disagreement. And so Breonna J. Rivers, Savannah series. Okay, so she put out I sincerely apologize, but cannot sit around and allow you to. So I already read that part. But going back, yeah, no, I read all that. So, no, I guess she writes an apology. Nothing has happened. We're going to try this again. And we are going to try this one more time. That's her again, ladies and gentlemen. So she's ready for fun. Just don't ask her to be responsible. And so for what she was saying, she's saying that the woman made her look a way that I guess she says she's not, but we saw what she said. And I mean, again, she didn't put words in her mouth. She said what she said. She believed that it made sense to get rid of children because you just don't want them. This is her thinking and ways of being. And she wants other people to feel some kind of way. Nah, I don't think so. Nah, I'll pass. I'll take a hard pass on that. But nonetheless, it is what it is, family. What do y'all think about that? And what do y'all think about Jasmine Crockett? Do you and this bogus hands-off rally that they did? What y'all think about that? For me, I think it's just a bunch of foolishness. Oh, that's right. That's what I need to get here, don't I? I think it's just a bunch of foolishness. They, hands off off rally. They could really be talking something tangible, but that ain't what they're going to do, because that ain't what they want to do. Talking something tangible for us means actually having to separate from probably some of that large donor cash that they take that tell them, don't you get out there and go do that for the folks. You get out there and you go support who he wants you to support. And it ain't people that look just like you. So you better be ready to double cross your own, which is wicked. And then you also get these other tethers out here. And then these tethers start getting in front of mics talking like they come from our lineage and they represent us. Like this crook here.
Don't have cars, don't have driver's licenses. So it's sort of a vestige of, I think, post-slavery laws where Black people had to prove their right to vote. And oftentimes they couldn't vote because they couldn't pass some crazy test or they didn't have the appropriate ID. It also affects women that are married. Maybe your passport reflects something that's different on your birth certificate or on your driver's license. So really the bottom line is voter suppression. And I agree with him 100%. It's a brilliant notion that less voter ID laws allows more people to vote. And most democracies do it that way. We're the only ones that really don't do it that way.
Right. I mean,
but we're the only democracy that claims to be what it is. So this country is supposed to be the greatest place in the world. Well, then we're not going to do it how everybody else does it. I think that's kind of the point in that. But again, when you start hearing these folks get out here and start talking about voter laws and all that, none of that applies to Sonny. None of that ever applied to Sonny. So it's just always interesting to watch people like that do that. It's like, Sonny, you know good and damn well you don't represent us. And we always, I have no problem checking her, and I'm glad that other people, we chime in and check this nonsense when we see it. Just how people always talk about Kamala Harris is Black. But when you start hearing these tethers out here start using all of this us and ours and we talk, always remember,
we.
And for people like Jasmine Crockett and others, it's, those questions get asked because it doesn't really make much sense when you guys start talking, when some of y'all start talking, because, the out of touch part with your community or with our history or with our elders, and not having a relationship at a young age with your elders, it shows. It shows in what you culturally know, shows what you culturally lack, and what you don't understand about our culture. And unfortunately, you might just look like this.
Dancing, shuffling, scratching, bootlicking, bamboozling, Uncle Tom Negro.
Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in to the Beat. What am I saying again? I got to get used to saying the new title. To the Independent Black Voice. I'm, of course, your host, beatzillapdx, officially. And there might be those out there who will say, we are a country of immigrants. We do need to have a coalition. We don't just need to worry about us, but we need to worry about everybody. That time is over with. And I hope here in this near future, you would also understand that you need to stop using our lingo over here. It is hashtag hands off our reparations. It's hashtag fire up the jet, to which you keep trying to fight against. And the one thing that you most definitely keep doing at this point, Black Democrats, is trying to tie immigrants' issues into our history. And that is absolutely unacceptable. And if you don't understand that, I speak for myself. beatzillapdx official, the independent Black voice. Those of you in the chat, the grassroots, and the voices of the new Black media, I am sure I speak for all parties involved when we proudly dedicate this song.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. And again, thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that like button, share this out if you have not already done so. Subscribe if you are new, and hit that notification bell. Hit that word all. That way you'll be notified anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded. Now you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can also email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket and support this channel by way of donation, you can do so at CashApp, $beatzillapdx. And we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak, ZILLAMUZ, at PayPal. And we are about out of here. But always remember,
it's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the flow. You really got to do it. 40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeed. So, family, y'all stay Black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, Black first, Black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed rest of your evening, and until next time.
One more time over here. Give it up for Charlie Marshall, y'all. We're gonna take it one more time. If you didn't know it, it's time to get doo-doo-dum. Dookie, that's where we come from. We got the sounds, we know, get like, it's time to